Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we're back here at Matchless Gifts again, the most sacred of all sacred places on the planet. Of course, Radhakund is what's mentioned in the Nectar of Instruction as the holiest of holy places, but we could argue that this is must be the holiest of holy places.
I would say it is, and I'm going to explain very briefly. Because if it wasn't for this place and Prabhupada coming, the reason why this place is holy is because of Prabhupada. There's nothing else fancy around here, I can guarantee that. So if it wasn't for Prabhupada coming to this place, I personally, I don't know about you, but I personally wouldn't know about Radhakund. I wouldn't know about Shamkund or any. So I would say it is even more exalted because it opened up
it's
so
like a portal.
many transcendental, so everything.
I was speaking to Anutama Prabhu, who's GBC for New York the other day, and he was saying that arguably, he said, this is the most important temple in our movement. Yeah. And it's not, you could say not even really like a temple, but it's the first. Anyway, we're here. Jai Wedamara should be giving class tonight. If you're interested, you can look on the Bhakti Center YouTube channel, and it will be live streamed this evening. Of course, you're not going to see this until after it's happened. The recording will be there if you want to check it out. Yeah,
the recording will be there. Go to the live tab on Temple at Bhakti Center. That's the YouTube channel, Temple at Bhakti Center. And click on the live tab and the recording will be there.
Jai Ho.
Okay. Canto 4, Chapter 23, Text 4.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 4. After retiring from family life, Maharaj Prithu strictly followed the regulations of retired life and underwent severe austerities in the forest. He engaged in these activities as seriously as he had formerly engaged in leading the government and conquering everyone.
Interesting. I love that.
Purport. As it is necessary for one to become very active in family life, similarly, after retirement from family life, it is necessary to control the mind and senses. This is possible when one engages himself fully in the devotional service of the Lord. Actually, the whole purpose of the Vedic system, the Vedic social order, is to enable one to ultimately return home back to Godhead. The Grihastha ashram is a sort of concession combining sense gratification with a regulative life. It is to enable one to easily retire in the middle of life and engage fully in austerities in order to transcend material sense gratification once and for all. Therefore, in the Vanaprastha stage of life, tapasya or austerity is strongly recommended. Maharaj Prithu followed exactly all the rules of Vanaprastha, which is technically known as Vaikhanasa ashram. The word Vaikhanasa Susamate is significant because in Vanaprastha life the regulative principles are also to be strictly followed. In other words, Maharaj Prithu was an ideal character in every sphere of life. Mahajano yena gata sapanta. One should follow in the footsteps of great personalities. Thus, by following the exemplary character of Maharaj Prithu, one can become perfect in all respects while living this life or while retiring from active life. Thus, after giving up this body, one can become liberated and go back to Godhead. Hold on, looks like there's half a word there.
Where?
You didn't change it. Oh, you finished. All right. All right. I just thought, I think you also noticed there was a nice point that was mentioned that he was as focused. And this, it's interesting actually. Yeah. So this theme of being focused and determined in Krishna consciousness, which helps to control the mind and senses, because you have a bona fide focus. Because don't think if you just focus on anything, it helps to control the mind and senses. If anything, it can make them go super crazy if you focus on the wrong things. And we are reading The Path of Perfection at the moment, and the section we read today was on this, about the mind and being focused and acting on the level of a spirit soul. And then we're also reading Bhaktiya Loka, and that was also speaking about the point of focusing the mind. So maybe Krishna is telling me personally something here, because I've heard it 3 times now. And I just thought it was very interesting that he applied himself on the same level of determination and focus when he retired as when he was basically leading, it says government and conquering everyone, but he was lead of the whole planet. So it wasn't just like united.
The whole universe, because he did a whole trip around the sun.
Yeah, so not like nowadays where it's all chopped up and someone's like Timbuktu and someone's got England and someone's got the Canary Islands, whatever. It's like, it was a whole planet or universe. And where did I we just heard it yesterday, but generally when you retire, you're not thinking of austerity and you're not thinking of sharpening the mind and senses in that level of focus. If anything, if the mood is, oh wow, I've earned this now. You're like 108 years old when you retire, especially in this day and age, but still you're like, now I'm going to enjoy. Now I'm going to do all the traveling because the kids are gone, Now I'm going to I'm going to
let the senses loose.
Yeah, and if they're not married, whatever reason, now I'm going to get myself a fella or a woman. That people get married. So it's interesting that in this case, and not just in this case, how it's meant to be actually, when you get to a certain age and you retire, you sharpen that pencil, that focus, as it were. You don't just let it go. Interesting. But that isn't how it's dictated to otherwise. I mean, in general society, it's like retirement.
Means enjoy, means kick back, means go for cruises, play golf all day, watch TV, sleep in. Yeah,
we were visiting his family and on the TV, which I didn't understand. There was an advert that kept coming up and it said, oh, have you got, if you're a couple, have you got life insurance? And then they're encouraging one of you to sell that back, so then you get money for it. And in your old age, which you might think is when you might need it, because one of you is going to croak it and the other one might need it, but they're telling you to sell it so you get money for it. This is in your old age. And then they were showing video, images of, oh, we're so happy we sold our life insurance, and so now we're on a cruise, like you said, and now we do this.
And the cruise crashes and you got no life insurance.
It don't make sense. It's like, isn't that what you saved all these years for? So, your partner or kids or whoever is benefited, No, let me just jack it in and go around the world. Isn't it interesting?
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, anyway, there's a whole conversation around life insurance. I'm not going to get into that. But
if you mentioned some, let us know. I need joking.
But it's called Chant Hare Krishna. But if you mentioned about the controlling the senses. I mean, you picked up on that point. I'm not going to follow on from that because it was very nicely conveyed about the enthusiasm with which we do something. Very nice points. What I wanted to pick up on was, this controlling the mind and the senses. We were just reading this morning in one of those books, and Prabhupada said, I think it was Path of Perfection, Srila Prabhupada said that you can conquer an entire empire, but if you don't conquer your own mind, you live with your enemy. You continue to live with your enemy. So you can become the emperor, but if your mind isn't controlled like that. Plus, I think it's really valuable here. Prabhupada is explaining practical implementation or application of Varnashram. So he's saying that the Grihastha ashram is basically a sort of concession combining sense gratification with regulative life. And Bhakti Aloka, which we're reading with the community care group, Bhaktivinoda Thakur very expertly and carefully ensures that with the explanation of each of these 6 elements that are favorable and we're going to get into the 6 elements that are, or 6 qualities that are, we're about to get into the 6 qualities that are favorable. We've just finished the qualities that are unfavorable. He makes sure to explain that the application of these qualities is different for a renunciant and for a householder. And even this morning, I was reading, Prabhupada was saying that, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was saying in Bhakti Loka that engagement with the material objects and material desires is meant to be completely eradicated. And he said, but if you're a householder and you're doing those things and they are favorable to your ashram and to your circumstance, then they're meant to be accepted. Although theoretically later, and this is what this comes to, later you are going to have to give them up. So it's about the consciousness. If we're doing things, you have to do stuff for the kids, you have to buy things for the house, you have to, make the place nice. If you try to live in this false renunciation mood, pretending like you're on some other platform to begin with, it just creates trouble in the home completely. Which reminds me, we need to contact, what's her name? Talk about troubled homes. So it brings trouble in the home. But here you see that Vanapras is a space where you start to break free from that. And then you have to become austere, like, sitting in a cold room and reading Bhagavatam. Travel, not give up some of the comforts of Grihastha life and start to embrace a life that is not so filled with sense gratification and so full of trying to enjoy, but more of preparing oneself for departing from this world, for leaving, knowing that I'm not taking anything from here with me. And in a sense, that's the first stages. I really would like, if anyone here is a Sanskrit scholar, I really thought Prabhupada was going to open it up. He mentions this word, Vaikanasa Ashram, Vaikanasa Ashram. And I need to look that up, what Vaikanasa means. So if anyone here is intelligent enough to know that, then you can let us...
it says in the thing, Vaikanasa, rules and regulations of retired life.
Where does it say that?
In the word for word.
Oh, okay, beautiful. Just see, I've got this brilliant-minded woman next to me. Yeah, Vaikanasa, rules and regulations of retired life. Susamate, perfectly recognized. Okay, so Vaikanasa. Okay, interesting. Still, if you know the etymology of that word specifically, then it'd be good. I guess Vaika. Anyway, not going to get into it. So let's read the next one. Should we call it?
It's very long.
Next one's quite a long purport. So we're going to call it now. We're at,
like we don't read long purports.
We don't read long purports. It's too austere for us. Well, we'll read it, but it's going to go blast us past the 20 minutes. We like to keep them short and sweet, and so do you. So
can I just quickly make a point then?
Please.
Before we conclude.
Yes, please.
That Prithu Maharaj, like someone might look at what we're reading here and think it's ghastly, that you was the emperor and ruler of the universe, and therefore had definitely because he's retiring now, that's the point, and but why do we work so hard? Because so when we retire, we have a little nest egg, as they say. So he's definitely got a few nests, as it were, blue eggs, golden eggs. And so someone might look at his life and think, gosh, you was the empress, so you lived so opulently, so many homes, good food, pretty women, if you know, that's what they say, you know, and nice clothes and money. And what are you doing? You know, he's going off now. Says to underwent severe austerities in the forest. It sounds ghastly. And I was thinking, yeah, it does. But if you've as he has, as we've read his life, he is a devotee of Krishna. So if you have practiced bhakti yoga all your life with such dedication and determination like he did, it means there's a taste, there's attachment, and it's not sadhana bhakti, as it were. You know, it's definitely on the spontaneous level. I want to do this. Then all you're doing is continuing that, if anything, without the hindrance of I've got to rule the planet, you know, and I've got to deal with this. So for him, it's actually ecstasy that I get to continue my bhakti without the hindrances,
distractions.
But if you lead a life, non-devotee or otherwise, of not trying to fall in love with Krishna, which is what bhakti is, and not trying to become attached and having no taste to do that, to hear about him. So when we read these things as devotees, it can appear quite ghastly, because you think, oh my Lord, you know, why I don't want to take Vanaprastha, and why should I take sannyas at this stage, or why do I need to leave the family? And okay, well, you may or may not go to a forest, practicality in that, but just lead, you know, give things up and lead a simple life. If we don't get connected to that taste in Krishna consciousness and spontaneous attachment, it will not land well for us, and we will read this, and there will be that surrender. Yes, there will be a fear of that surrender, and I mean amongst devotees, let alone non-devotees. So it's interesting. It's like it can occur because you can do anything for the person or persons that you love. We do, you know, we go out of our way to do things, but for people we don't, it lands differently when you have to do certain things. So I don't know, I was just, when you were just
that's a nice point.
I was thinking, yeah, that's the lesson. That's, we really need to apply ourselves, and so wherever Krishna decides to put us, you know, we're cool with it, because I still got you know.
Yeah, and you're the ultimate goal of everything I've done, and now I've got more time to spend focusing on that relationship with you. That's the kind of essence.
Otherwise it's like you retire like he has, and you look at your spouse and you think, are you going to be sitting at home all day? Because you've been used to working all your life, and they only come home at a certain time, you eat and go to sleep, and now you've got them 24 hours, and it's like, Lord. That's just an example. I'm not saying in real life.
Sure. I can take a hint. Okay, thank you all very much. Keep tuning in. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And we asked for some comments, so please, we want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear your reflections. Let's keep it interactive. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.